Class, anything new today? Yes. The answer is undoubtedly yes. Anytime we have the time and we have a bunch of new stuff, I like to review. What we're going to do is please close your notes. Please close the text. I am going to call on individuals in the class. I have high expectations. When I call on an individual, will I expect that individual to know the answer to my question? Class. Not necessarily. I think it would actually be unfair for me to assume that you remember everything from today's lecture now. Right? Not really fair. Would you agree that someone in the class should be able to answer the question, however? Class? Yes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call on random people. If you do not know, do your best. If that person cannot figure it out, we'll see if somebody else can. For example, we'll start with Wicket. What is the definition of inertia?
Inertia is if a object is in motion, stays in motion.
Yes, it has to do with that. I'm looking for a more technical definition. An object in motion stays in motion, but I'm looking for a more technical definition of the term inertia. Nick?
The ability to not accelerate.
Yes, very, very close. I'm just looking for a little bit more specifics here. David? Yeah, the term ability was not in there, though. The ability was not. Jessica?
The tendency?
The tendency to resist a change in state of motion or the tendency to resist an acceleration. What is mass? Stephanie? That's okay. Who can tell me what mass is? You're close, not quite. Andrew?
A measure of inertia?
It is the measure of the amount of inertia. It's the measurement of the tendency of an object to resist a change in state of motion. What is a force, Christina? Pressure. We have not defined pressure, so we can't use the term pressure. Lily, force? You were there, you saw it. Christina got to feel it. Force. Who's got force for me? Not Nikolai, he loves to drive. I need other bus drivers. We have a force. Connie?
Is that only one's the ability to change the state of motion?
The ability to cause a change in state of motion of an object. What was the key term in that definition, Daniela?
Ability.
The ability doesn't necessarily cause a change in state of motion of an object, but it can. Two words that were synonymous with one another. First off, what does the word synonymous mean, Leah?
Equal to the same.
They mean the same thing. One of them was the force of gravity. The other one was what, Daniela?
Weight.
Weight. Remember, weight and the force of gravity are the same thing. What is the equation for the force of gravity? Mitch?
Mass times acceleration.
Almost. He said that the equation for the force of gravity was mass times acceleration.
Mass times gravity times g.
Okay, what does G stand for? What are the words that we use to say the term G? And
Acceleration of gravity.
the acceleration due to gravity. Remember, you have to be very careful. You can't really use the term gravity. You have to either say the force of gravity or the acceleration due to gravity. So again, what is the equation for the force of gravity? Kraus?
The force of gravity equals mass times the acceleration due to gravity.
Great. Mass times the acceleration due to gravity. What is the direction of the force of gravity?
Down.
Down. What is the acceleration due to gravity here on planet Earth, Connor?
Positive.
I agree, it is positive. What else?
On Earth.
What is the acceleration due to gravity here on planet Earth? Yes.
9.8 negative down.
This is fun. Help him out, Andy.
G is 9.8, but the acceleration is down, so I don't know. I don't want to say negative.
I don't want to say negative. He's going to make me sing the song. Okay, so the question is, the acceleration due to gravity, little g, here on planet Earth, Emma, is what?
Can you repeat that?
I will repeat it for the 4th time, yes. The acceleration due to gravity here on planet Earth is equal to what? We've gotten close. We've got some of this right stuff, but I want to make sure we get it absolutely correct.
Negative 9.8 meters per second squared.
Negative, are you positive?
No!
Ah. Oh, leave her alone. Remember, g is a positive number.
Yes.
Remember, the acceleration in the y direction when you're in free fall is equal to negative g. That's why we get confused with this negative. Plus, you get stressed out because I call on you. And it's like, I don't know. Okay, so relax. Remember, g is a positive number, positive 9.8 meters per second squared. What are the dimensions on force, Jessica?
Kilograms times meters per second squared.
Great, mass times acceleration, so it is meters per second squared times kilograms. What is the term we use for that, Maria? Newtons. We have 2 different terms, weight and mass. Please give me one difference between weight and mass. Kraus.
Weight is a vector and mass is a scalar.
Great, weight is a vector, mass is a scalar. Josh?
Weight is extrinsic, mass is intrinsic.
Weight is an extrinsic property, meaning it's dependent on external variables. Good. Whereas mass is intrinsic. If you go to the moon, your mass will stay the same. The weight is different. Knickerbocker, the third.
The weight is measured in newtons and mass is in.
Great. Weight in newtons, mass in kilograms. Let's see. What else do we have? Newton's first law. Laura.
An object at rest will stay at rest, but an object in motion will stay at a constant velocity if
You got all the way through the first 2 parts. End it for us, Brittany. An object at rest will remain at rest. An object in motion will remain at a constant velocity.
something the net external force.
Something to do with the net external force. What's the something, Wheatley?
Unless acted on by.
Unless acted upon by a net external force. The 2 most common things to forget, Andy?
Is that I'm not supposed to be talking while you are talking.
Wow, that would be the number 1, but the 2 things that people forget from Newton's first law.
I don't know. There's 3 parts, so they could forget 2 of them.
It's a lovely answer, but no. David.
Velocity and net.
Constant velocity and net external force. So net external and constant velocity. The term constant velocity means 2 specific things, Wicket. An object in motion will maintain a constant velocity. That constant velocity means 2 things.
Moving.
Right, but it means 2 specific things. Help her out. What does it mean? Grimmer.
Speed and direction.
It would maintain a constant speed and a constant direction. That's Newton's first law, also called the law of inertia, just in case you're curious. What is Newton's second law, Maria? Very close. Net force equals mass times acceleration. What is she missing? That's all correct, but you're missing a small piece. A very important piece. Meredith.
The force vector.
The force is a vector and acceleration is a vector. You need to identify the force and the acceleration both as vectors. Anytime you're working with a problem that has forces, what is the first thing you should do? Mitch. Besides listing your givens and all that stuff.
Make sure that they're all on the direction.
I agree with that, breaking stuff into components, but even before you do that, Knickerbocker,
Draw a free body diagram.
draw your free body diagram. Speaking of free body diagrams, we have all sorts of forces. So far we've had the force of gravity. Give me another force we introduced today. Sam.
The force of friction.
The force of friction, I agree. What was the definition of the force of friction today, Connie? Not today. Another force, Meredith.
Force applied.
Force applied, what was the definition of the force applied, Knickerbocker?
Basically, the force is applied.
Right, the applied force. Good. We have the last one. What was the last new force, Connor?
Force normal.
What does the word normal for force normal mean? Christina? Normal. It's a mathematical term. Connor?
Perpendicular.
Perpendicular to what, Christina? Not necessarily the floor. The floor is an example of it. Lily? Whatever's under it. We tend to call whatever's under it what, Nikolai? The surface. So it's perpendicular to the surface. What was the other piece you needed to remember about the force normal? It's perpendicular to the surface and, Wheatley?
It's positive.
Not necessarily positive. We'll go through examples of that, not today. But the force normal is perpendicular to the surface and, Mitch?
It's always a push.
Always a push. The surface can't pull. It's always a push. What are the names of my three brothers? Song.
Ted, Chris, and John.
That's my name. John is my name. Ken, Chris, and Jim. What type of American Girl doll did my daughter get for Christmas? Leah?
Elizabeth Taylor.
Ooh, close. Elizabeth Cole. Very nice. Let's see. What year was my minivan made in?
2000.
2000. Very nice. What are the colors of the socks I'm wearing today? Blue and green is not correct. Blue and pink. Ladies and gentle people, the next 7 minutes are my gift from me to you. Please enjoy.